Good afternoon all. Today is Sunday, October 24th, 2010. The entry today is number 1730, description of the problem in the subfield of problematicology. We have here 3 pages, 36 ologies and 9 maxima. Definition. The description of the problem is the act or effect of describing, drawing, portraying, representing, and enumerating in a particular circumstance in detail the key issues of the object of research. The anatomization of the problem, the dissection of the problem, the problem existing before the solution, the diagnosis of the problem, the pursuit of defining the solution, the intelligent autofocus in the solution, not in the problem, however, considering the need of the description of the problem, the descriptive gathering of the problem of research, the logical specification of the problem, the question arising from the description of the problem, orienting the objective of the research. In the referenciology, we have 15 items, and we talk about the binomial, self-conscienciometry and self-researchology, the problem interphysical consciousness, the logic solution, and the parapsychic solution. The description act or the exact dissection of the problem of research of any nature is the first concrete initiative to explore the complexity of the scope of the investigation. Are you in use with making the detailed description before every initiative of technical investigation? Do you describe the problem orally or graphically? But now we have questions. Ernest Hemingway, in this book, Adeus às Armas, tell a phenomenon of lucid projection. What do you think about this report and the author himself? Oh, you are not updated. 24 years ago, I published this book, The Projectiology, and it's on its 10th edition. If you take here on page 1040, you are going to see the number of the bibliography is 710. Ernest Hemingway. Jonathan Cake, London, 1958, page 53. So I have experience in this subject, exactly for 52 years. It would be good for you to take this book and read it. So in the text there is a connection between the subject of the text and this book. And another thing, it took me 19 years to write this book. So, after this time I can see the advantage of writing it. When I was writing this book, everybody used to laugh at me. Who is going to read that? All that bibliography. And it was the minimum I could do at that time. Less than 2,000 sources. But, however, after 52 years, someone find out the conscienciology and see a fantastic thing. So it was from the other incarnation, literally. It was funny. It's, there is a value with the time passing by. People can recognize you after that. You saw something really important. I have this book from Ernest Hemingway. Within the bibliography, I researched more than 46,000 books. So you found out just one of those books. In the manual of Penta, there is a quoting saying that, the lady in her 30s makes everything to become famous, and after the 60s, she wants to get away from her public, from her audience. Is this a incoherence? In the same book you say that the evolution has his abilities. So you also say that some people can change suddenly, and it's always possible for someone to change. Sometimes you change, sometimes I don't change. It depends on the person. I don't defend anyone. You also said something like that about the priests that left church. Do you think it's also incoherent? The incoherence in this case is because of the following. If the person had, the person had those scenes, he or she wanted to be famous before the crowd is still in the person, the fame, the celebrity. This person in this case hasn't changed after all those years. Take a look to my case. I am 78 and I was young. When I was young, I had a very good looking, and now I don't want to show myself anymore. So something about getting old. This person is getting old and disturbed. There's a movie that you can see that shows that. Do you remember the movie? What's the name? Yes, it's the problem of the crowds. Yes, that lady, do you know? Yes, the crowd. So it is this movie. Can you tell us? Tell our friend. What is the name of the movie? Sunset Boulevard. It's a lady, a middle-aged lady, 60 years old, and she was not accepting the elderly, and she had a relationship with a guy, a very young guy, and she had deception, a deception, a lot of deception that I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to tell you the movie. Another question. Once I told you I was a Rose Cross member, and I'm finishing a CIP course, and I can see that the questions related to parapsychism are even more modern. I want to know how to keep lucidity during my sleep. You have to work with your vibrational state. You must have receiving some exothosines from these people, these Rosa Cross people. It depends on the achievements that you have in that society. You have to analyze that. The best thing for you is the vibrational state. About knowledge, should we have to follow the principle of this belief? Why should I follow you if we have the principle of this belief? Okay, this guy is not thinking well about these questions. So what I think, you don't have to do nothing what I think. So my studies, they serve for you to compare my foolish things with your foolish things, my achievements and yours, my mistakes and yours. It's nice. I expose myself. Most of the people don't expose themselves. So you are judging with preconception, and you should be aware. Pay attention. It's worth to study everything that comes to you. And you have to find out through investigation your own realities. Do you understand? Are you understanding me? If you haven't, you should write me again. So, to measure the knowledge is a process of fraternity, the intersubstantiality. It's a positive thing. But finally, something for you. If you don't like me, forget me. Banana technique for you. Forget. Give me a banana. But take care of your life. You are going to meet each other in the corners of the evolution. If you have not rationality to understand what we are talking about, you are going to have a lot of trouble here in conscienciology, or you have rationality, or just forget it. I think the guy has understood me. My intention is to clarify. You know, I play with all the things to try to make people to understand. Another question, since I met conscienciology for the first time and I had my first experience with the ectoplastic fact, the ectoplasm falls from my left hand all day over. Can it create a problem? By the time that I don't dominate the energies, yes. You have to deal with your vibrational state and try to get better your hollow fuzzy. And cosmetics and good intention is something really important. If you don't want, nobody's going to intrude you. Another question. The same question. My son is 18 and I think he is ectoplasmic. Also, sometimes it's genetic. When my son was a little boy, he used to blast the water and it changes the smell. How can we deal with this plus that he has since he was born? Well, the important thing is to give your son some books and clarify him. So as he's not here, it would be great for him to read the projectology. But when he comes here, he should go to the holoteca and read all those books related to the ectoplasm. During the Penta prediction practice, I've been perceiving a strong transmission of energy to the political situation in Brazil. Yes, we need it. The environment is a little bit heavy. Am I right to do that? Can this election cause a serious problem? Yes, we never know. Other question. In the practice of the vibrational state, I feel the need of stretching my arms in front of me and exercise through my hands. When I do that, I perceive that I am exteriorizing to the environment. Is it true or my imagination? Well, for the beginners, those sensations are very normal. Take notes about that and keep going with your energies, with the work of your energies. Since I put a friend in my Penta, my box of Penta, this woman has changed in a better way. She goes to the African religion and she deals with Pombagira and Exu. I thought all those things are not good for her, and I want to help her. So her changes were not good. She stopped talking to me. How can I help her? You should write to her. You should tell her that Pombagira is an extraphysical intrusion and it's specific for the prostitutes. Please analyze if you are feeling well as a prostitute. Do you want this situation for your life? You put the date and you give to her. So, in some time, within some years, she's going to analyze that. If you have confidence, you should say that. And if you do that, you know, those extraphysicals, they are going to follow you. So you have to be aware. We also, when we do things like that, you know, the extraphysicals, they come to visit us, and then we should use diplomacy in this case. But Pombagira is extraphysical intrusion for the prostitution. It's a problem, a sexual problem. My mother-in-law is widow and she's ingenuous. She started to have a relationship with a very poor guy from the slum, and he wants to live with her. We suspect that he is with her because he's just interested in her money. This verb is, perfectly suspicion. What are you waiting for? He's going to steal everything from her? She tells everyone about everything. The problem here is the following. You have to insist. Exercise energy before, during, and after. And sometimes, maybe, she can listen to you. She can hear you. Here I have someone that I'm not going to tell you the name. It's about the future film. I'm just talking to this person personally. We are going to talk about this issue, the future film. We are going to do that. Okay? Another thing. We have here a report. Take off the children's hands the cell phones. Nobody knows the effect of the cell phone. I have commented about this subject before. This is the second time. It's terrible. If someone wants to take a look at this, we cannot trust on the cell phones. But I also want to talk about, I want to tell you that here in Vision magazine, from the last issue, yesterday's issue, we have here an article of the wrong use, the misuse of certain things. What is adequate or not? They are confirming one more time about the bacteria. How many bacteria do we have? Okay, you are correct. Let me show you. The bacteria of the good, they are found in the main external organs, and they defend people from the bad things. 100 millions of bacteria. So sometimes people that, when I talk about that, I exaggerate. I'm not exaggerating. The fact is here. The magazine is telling us that. I'm going to read the cover. The truth from dossiers. I can't stand the requests for open dossiers. This is a quoting with the Justice Secretary in Brazil. It's about the dossiers. This issue is on the news stands already. I like this because of the bacteria. But now we have the feedback from the test of the extension program test. They used 50 questions, so the written evaluation on October 24th. It's well done. I have 5 different observations. For example, when you ask what is the meaning, should be better to put what is the objective. So I took some notes, and the rest is just perfect. There's nothing wrong. Everything is correct within our process. So for those who elaborated this test, they are approved. Who did that? You? It's extraordinary. So if you think that my revision is interesting, you take a look. But now I'm here with a collection, a full collection of the familiar newspaper from the Cavalieri clan. Cavalieri is from Carla's family. Since the first issue to the last one, we are going to take this to the Holoteca for people to study that. This is a sociology study. So you are going to see the process that, the feudalism and monarchy are over, but in this family there is still a clan. So, for example, here is in the number 1 issue. In the total we have 238 issues, and they've been publishing that for 31 years. 31 years. But the last one is from last October. It comes from the post office. Through the post office, we have the stamp, everything. There is a cartoon, 3 cartoons actually. We have pictures, a lot of pictures. It also has crosswords, and sometimes it has more than 1 cartoon. This one, for example, has G. And everyone says something different. They are all related to the family, who is with who is the birthday time. So husbands and wives. Alfred and other names. So here we have Zilda and her cousin. October 2010. For those who want to study the process of sociology, the sociology process. It's good to take a look to a newspaper like this. This is the most serious newspaper that I've seen. Carla has been keeping these newspapers. They are all here. I took the first one and the last. On 1977, September, they have a letter for all the family, so they tell the objective of this newspaper, which is the union of the family. The objective of the newspaper is the union of the family. For those who want to study, I think it's just great. I asked Carla to bring us this newspaper. This is the human nature, but the nature within the process of the Grupo Karma. So they are an Italian family, so they are all attached. Isn't it, Arlindo? You don't have a clan, have you? Do you understand? You know? So, Alcadipane News would be great. So for those who haven't seen something like that, it would be great to take a look. This is the familiar politics. It's a very serious analysis of Grupo Karma. Professor, you asked me to raise the number of the members of the family, so the direct relatives would be, it's something around 200 people. So you have more in your family, but you don't have a newspaper. So in the North Brazil, her clan is even bigger. But yours are even more organized. So, long life to Brazil. You could keep a condition like this for 31 years. It's great. So the family was not touched by any situation in this country. It's the proof of the balance of this country. 31 years. We had something really hard during those years. So this newspaper had never stopped. Sometimes we have meetings with all the family. So in these meetings they have plays for the new members, a play telling the old histories from the old members. So it's impressive. Have you studied the process of the cult of the family? Because of the monarchy. Yes, we have the cult. Is there a genetical signal that you can see in through all those generations? Something in the ear, some detail related to the little finger or something like that? There is a pathology which is very frequent in our family. It's a process of genetics. I'm just talking about appearance. We are all similar. We look like each other. So they are beautiful. We could recognize ourselves because we are very similar. But, I had a case like that, and that disturbed me in that time. I was taking my mother. She was feeling bad, something related to her liver, and then I had that inspiration that she could be better, she could feel better in this place, Palmelo. And we took a train from Monte Carmelo to Goiás. When we were passing by Goiandira, and then I was getting out of the train, the station, and there was a guy. He pointed out to me and told me, "You are a Vieira." And then I said, why are you saying that? Because you have something. You have no hair in your head. You are getting bald. I have analyzed all the Vieiras. And then I told the guy, my family came from Mato Grosso. And the guy told me that his family too. And we said that we should have the same family. So he was just, analyzing my bald. Take a look at me, he said. Take a look at you. This is genetics. Let's see. Don't you think I am smart to know something like this? Yeah, I am astonished with this. You are extraordinary. And then I started talking to him about my grandfather and related to the Indians and the Imperator, and there were 14 Vieiras, the Vieiras members, and they were they went to a region that they have diamonds, and then after that they spread to other places. So, there's something there. Sometimes that I can see when I see the Vieiras is the shape of our nose. We have a lot of noses like mine. So that's I am curious about. Sometimes, there are people who had something specific in the ear or the toe under the other toes. In the left foot, something very specific, We have a lot of different characteristics. So those are genetic marks. If you study your group, you are going to see that. You are going to see if those who are legitimate and those who are not, and the fault would be the mother's fault. So if you ask for a DNA exams, you can see that the person is not legitimate. So we also have his. A specific his for the family. If a cavaliere goes to anywhere in the world and this person and somehow he is going to be recognized by the other cavalieres. So it's very funny. And we also have saints in the family. What? Oh, you have saints. The Saint Alfonso Maria de Ligório is from our family. He was a parapsychic. I put in my book. So we are working well. But he had not participated in this newspaper. He came before that. Do you think this guy is resonating in some of you? So ask this person to talk to me, please. You know him? Yes, I think so, and I think you know him. By analyzing the biography, we can see that. I sent to this newspaper, a trick describing all the Alfonso's characteristics and asking if someone recognized this guy nowadays. So as you are all attached to each other, you probably are going to resonate with each other. So you know, there must be a lot of grandfathers of themselves in your family.
Professor Valdo.
Professor, let her be here, up here. So you have a partner there. I'd like to understand what is the relationship between the entry and the example of the dossier. Is the size of the problem? It's a problem of genealogy. It's a problem of the past. The feudal problem, the Middle Age problem. So it's a process of the historiography, the group of karmic historiography. Everything is important to be studied. One thing, there are a lot of people who want to study their retrocognitions. So if you do this study, this analysis, you are going to help this person. But work with this is a problem sometimes because it can be selfish. So you have to deal well with those information. You cannot change the past. We have to work with our process of genetic. What I see in these families is that they are very organized. The strong trait of this family is the organization. We have a lot of families here with only 17 members and they are just disorganized. I was thinking about something related to a critical life. This life would be critical. I was thinking about the professionalization of the existential programs. One example would be the Institute. That time, by the creation of the Institute, it was started the professionalization of the existential program. Nowadays we have the ICs. And those who knows about this reality and are not collaborating with this reality, you know, the responsibility of this person increases in a wide way. Yeah, the person is wasting chances to potentialize her own work, the person's work. I understood that the critical life is that you have all the information. You have all the information and you had the intermissive course, and nowadays we have here a perfect environment to achieve your existential program. How the people who ignore this are going to deal with that situation? Well, I'm writing about this. I'm writing some entries about all those subjects, those subtleties. The example that you were asking me, I'm also writing about. Explain them. The entry is the retro function of the helper. So you are going to verify the function of your helper in his or her last life. If he or she was a penta practitioner or other activities, so you have to think about that. Well, nowadays I am writing about the intermissive course. Through analyzing your helper, you are going to see who you are. It's very important for the self-analysis. For example, the Carlos clan. In the Carlos clan, it's important to analyze who is someone's helper. Who is helping who in this group? Who has more experience? Do you think her helper in the last time was from this family? You know, when we talk about group karma, we have another level of analysis. It explores the immediate future of the person if you analyze it in that way. I was reading a book between two worlds. You know, that Arthur Gates was telling about, you know, the bad experience he had until he found out about his reality. If he had the interest, it would be easier for him. He was doing well, but he was doing in a very amateur way. Sometimes, you know, he had a lot of confusion, but anyway, he could write some books and everything, and sometimes we have a lot of things here in this group, and we are not taking advantage of that, even concerning the things like writing a book. We don't give the proper value for the things. That's why you say that it's a critical life. It's because of the lacking of this perception. Professor, there was a time in my life that I could perceive a helper from the monarchy. He was like sitting on a chair. She was a middle-aged lady, very beautiful, very... He was from monarchy. There were 3 generations. She had someone on her right from the other generation, and on the left in the other generation. So 3 different generations. They were all from monarchy. They were sober. They were very calm. Is this subject an answer? The retrofunction of the helper, is this an entry? Yes, it is. It's done already. Could you talk more about that? What? Could you please elaborate more about that? No, I'm going to bring the entry. Take it easy. Calm. It's a group of calm. I'm just going to talk in a passage what it is about. You have to analyze the helper, and this helper has someone to help. For example, in the Penta practice, this helper would be in the previous life Penta practitioner. So you have to ask, what was your helper in the other life, from the Penta practitioner to the teleguided condition? This helper must be close to that condition. The intraphysical guy must be close to the condition of his helper. This difference is secondary. What really matters is the lucidity that the person has. So in the next life, the helper is going to tell you, let's change roles for the next life. So this retrofunction from the helper is a touchstone. It's enlightening. It's a spotlight for the person. You know, I also told you to study about the differential diagnosis, comparing one condition and another. So you have to compare the evolutionary level of those consciousness, the intraphysical, the intraphysical and the extraphysical consciousness. I have one question here. Does the extraphysical take shower? Yes, sometimes. Some extraphysicals even like to keep money. They take something and they think that is money. Animals and plants, do they have different consciousness? Yes. Yes, it's just our nature in a vegetal and subhuman way. Here I have my extension program is related to education, but I have depression. And I am afraid of being in schools and, the pink backpacks. And I was diagnosed as with burnout. What I think is that you have to face yourself, take a look to the mirror, and let's see. Depression is something foolish. You can overcome that. You have intelligent questions, as I can see. And that shows that you have a good level to teach and have a good didactic and pedagogy. The process of teaching, the lexicology, it's worth to work with that. All things related to books, teaching, taking the knowledge to the people. Don't leave yourself to your self-corruption. Depression is self-corruption. Another question. I have some sensations during my sleep. Is this sign of having a future projection? No, sometimes it's just neoclonus. It's very normal when the person goes to bed. It's very common. Using just the reasoning, when there is emotional condition that made me break up with my relationship and made me feel really bad because I can't overcome that and I can't stop thinking about that. What can I do? I stay with this guy in my mind all the time. Can I get stronger? You are being selfish. Get out of your ego. Go out and help others, and then you are going to forget all those things. Yes, you are treating this situation as a lose, and then you are feeling bad. It's obvious. Please, overcome this. Let's go ahead. I don't know your age, but in any age nowadays, people are, in any age, people are just forgiving other people and coming back to the old relationships. It's impossible. I'd like you to elaborate on pathology, the intelligent self-focus in the solution and in not a problem. However, considering the imperative of description of the problem. So, first you have to see what is the solution that I want to achieve with this. But you also have to describe this problem in details for you to see that your question is that one. You have to go into details in your problem, and after you are going to achieve the solution, the details of the solution. Opinion on elections. I'm sure that Dilma is not going to win. I'd like to ask everyone to send good energies to the voters. So this is Cecilia. She's convicted that it's going to help. She's been talking about that for 1 month. She's sure that Dilma is not going to win this election. You know, this lady, she writes very well. She has been a journalist for decades. She must have some information. She must have details about that. Yes. Could you amplify the idea in paradoxology? The paradox of the practic structure of the binomial problem description. This is the following. It's just what I've mentioned before. We have to describe the problem itself. So sometimes you are going to analyze just one side of the question. So when you analyze, you see the first, the second, and the third side, which is the more important side. So when you talk about a problem, you have to go deep and analyze all the details. And in that analysis, you are going to verify where you have to touch to achieve a solution. First, think about the problem. So you have to think also about the solution, and also you have to understand, in fact, the structure, the mechanism, the essence of this problem. Otherwise, it's not going to help. It's the logical process. Is logical for you, this idea? Yes. So this issue about the cost, the code of family, comes from old ages. Yes, it's a problem of aristocracy. Even, when people resonate together, I don't know from where they are coming together. So take a look. We have 200 people together. It's kind of an army. It's not a football team or a soccer team. In a soccer team, we have just 11 people. But a group of karma is something really attached. They are really attached to each other. They all come together all the time. Yes, there are things that I would like to research about this. Who married who, for example, in the last 15 years? Who got in the clan? Was it allowed it? So by analyzing that, we can see who is from the monarchy and who is from the folks. Remember, once I told you to research about that? Even those who get into the group, and after divorce, for example, and this person was accepted by the group doesn't give up about this person. We have to analyze if this clan is within a ghetto or a field with a lot of castles. Do you think you live in a ghetto or in a field? Can you see the difference? So ghetto would be for poor people. And the field would be monarchic. It is a field. So you have to study that. So you have to analyze what people think about that, when people get married, if there is someone against, There is someone's verdict. But now, the last generation are spread all over the world. They travel all the time. We have people from the petrol flag. Do you have someone with 1 billion in the family? Yes, people from the petrol, they do. So you have billionaires in your family, you have sand. You have to see the numbers of your family. It's very important. Reurbanized consciousness you must have also. You can also ask about how many of these people were transmigrated. It can be studied, you know. Don't you think? For example, is there anyone who were celebrity as a thief or swindler within these 31 years? No, I don't know any. From my grandma up to now, we don't have it. You know, I know that there are judges, but the defendant, do you have any defendant? A real defendant? In your family? There is a trait from my grandmother, which is not disseminated the weak traits of the family, so it's a characteristic of our family. We don't know if something wrong happened, because we don't know. Yeah, this is religious behavior. So everything is in favor of the family. It's from the Catholic Church. So she's indulgent. I thought it was interesting, the newspaper from the Cavalieri family. I have a group of farms spread all over the world, Europe, and we did not know each other before. My cousin from Europe, he released a newsletter, and we all received that, and it was very interesting. It caught my attention because beyond bringing historic information about our family, it also brings information about the countries that we live, and it's a real tool for us self-research. And I thought this approximation was very positive. It's very positive for everyone. I also think so. But why do I think like that? Because we have, when you want to get into the mega fraternity, the universalism, to help humanity, the first thing you should do is a little bridge. And this little bridge would be called evolutionary dude. It's someone that you elect to achieve the rest of the humanity. But in this issue, in this question, it's not a small bridge anymore. It's a huge bridge with a whole family. So there is this point, which is very serious. If the person has evolutionary priority in her head, this person can take a lot of advantage of this experience. That's I want to call your attention. Instead of having just one to help you to achieve the humanity, you are going to have 200 people. It's your reversal of mega fraternity. But the selfish, it depends on the level of the person, the interest of the person, the objective that she or he wants to achieve. Another thing, you talk about the three different focus that people have to see. Would this be the direction, megafocal direction? Yes. I'd like to research about the subject, and I'd like to understand more about that. So you have to analyze the theme, the subject that you are studying. So in this subject, you have to identify the three different focus. And then you have to, after that, to put all those techniques or the binomials or trinomials, and you have to analyze the short-term condition, medium-term, long-term, and really long-term. So if you analyze like that, you are going to have more ideas about this. You have just answered to a Tertulian, tele-Tertulian, about incoherence and change. In terms of consciousness, you don't defend anyone that these people cannot change or can change. You know, we have a lot of examples. Dilma, in the case of Dilma that we were talking about, is the same. The same example as the lady that didn't want to show up anymore because she got old. There's also an example from Hollywood. You know, a very well-known actress, Greta Garbo. So she has proud, even in her name. So it was just like her. She didn't want to show up. She got a little disturbed at the end of her life. So let's analyze and understand what I'm trying to tell you. But now, what I think is this question. For example, we have here in Brazil a big artist. He killed someone. And after that time that he killed someone, he didn't want to know about everything that was going on around. He was feeling guilty. So we have to analyze the facts. Why he murdered the person, why he did that. You know, in his case, he was an artist. He's emotional. The same thing is with the Balicist person. Someone who is Balicist is very emotional. We have an example on TV, which is Criminal Minds. You can see that. Channel 48, almost every day during the week. You know, now it's, we have during the weekend, the time is different, but it's 7 p.m. at night. You can examine that program, that you can see someone who has this tendency. For example, the pedophile. They know that if they release a guy like this, he's going to get around and, you know, close to the playgrounds, close to schools. So they have analyzed that kind of temper, and they know what they do. So think about someone who killed someone with a gun. You know, a guerrilla person. How can someone change being like that? I haven't mentioned before, but as you were saying that, we are talking about a woman. We are talking about Dilma is a woman. You know, man is different. He has the hormones to kill, but woman is different. She came to give birth. So, for example, there is a difference between men and women. We have those serial killers. How do you call that guy?
Sniper.
The sniper. So, most of the snipers are men. So, think, we are talking about a woman, a guerrilla, a female one. It's really serious. There is no incoherence in this process. We have different points of view and different approaches. We have a detail related to Dilma. She is proud of her past. So it's a basic difference. You know the sniper? He retires and he gives interview telling that the best thing he has done was killing people. Sometimes they shot from 1 kilometer from distance. Someone can be considered a hero, an icon. I've seen this on TV. They have movies about that. But I see in her specific case it's less than a sniper. But she's proud of what she has been done in the past. She participated in a series of guerrillas. It was not just one. It was not just the one. She is very bellicist. She's real bellicist. She's not authentic. So, let's see, remember, we also have the bomb pregnant. The woman who is pregnant and he's a bomb. So I saw on TV Dilma together with Zé Dirceu, and they were talking good about the guerrilla. They are. He's a partner. He's her partner. He's coming back. Prepare yourself. This is from the Mensalão scandal. If she is elected, we should observe if the Chavism is going to take place of this country, or even if Serra is going to be elected, we have to see what's going to happen. It's concerning. We should concern the Lula situation. What's going to happen with his health? It's going to be a very strong impact in his life. We should be prepared. You know, he can have a heart attack. I am worried about the former president. If it happens, during our existence, intraphysical and extraphysical, is there more evolved consciousness? Well, take a look, you are nothing. We have thousands of evolved consciousness, extraphysical consciousness. If you were evolved or advanced, you should know about this issue. You should read our evolution. And I want you to criticize this book. See what you can do. Find some arguments to face those ideas. It's very important for you. You're going to get better. So we have a lot of more evolved consciousness. This planet is very small, very small. We are just a grain on the sand. We have a lot of different planets, even more evolved than this one. Should be good to present this guy, Serenissimus. Would be the best for him. So the guy would become something really small at the same time, you know, a bacteria.
Não, mas quase sempre é ameba, porque na hora que ele muda a morfologia. A ameba é mais.
Professor,
aqui, com relação à cosmovisão,
related to the cosmovision of the description of the problem, related to familiar cases, how can we reach the cosmovision in our family? You should analyze your family. If your family is large, or it is the opposite. Is your family fraternal? Do they make assistance? It's a process of having a group. If the group is advanced, they should be helping others. Like Carla's family, they are just great related to that. They have judges, they have well-known person. People from Rio de Janeiro who met her family. There was a judge in Rio. He helped the infants in Rio. So the first adoptions in this country was his job. So it's a matter of the essence of the family. But to understand better the relation between those members, the members of the role of each member of the family. So you have to analyze the affinity among those people. The empathy that moves their mechanism, the rapport, the affinity. You have to examine how it works, who is who, why they are there, who is father, who is mother, who is brother. Every information is important. Once defined this scene, you have to analyze what you are doing there. Where I came from, why I am here, and to where am I going. You have to ask all those questions. It's very important. There's a reason for you to be there. There's going to be a time that you're going to call your mother and ask what you're doing here. How to go deep in this question in order to understand my role in this family, to understand better. You can analyze how many reurbanized people you have in your family. How many people do I have to help here? Do I have any person depending on me? You have to analyze everything. But the process is all like this. Who helped you in this family? Beyond father and mother. Sometimes you have a godmother or a godfather. So you have to put in the scale. Those are the receivings for your existential program. You can ask them for help. I can identify the receivings. How did you get here in the conscienciology, was there someone who opened the door for you? Yes, but not from my family. So you were safe. So you have to analyze everything. Okay? But now, so it's in our family that we have very serious relationships. Serious. Observe that and see how it happens in your family, how it happens in your family. Sometimes it can happen when you identify your role in your family, how much you are accepted in your family, who are the people who want you in the family, the affinities that you have in the family. Sometimes I try to get far away from them, but they call me all the time. I am a loved one in my family. So it's because of your charm. It's a process of having charm. I think it's a process of having a responsibility. It's a responsible charm. Or a charmer's responsibility. But we cannot forget about the side ones. I was thinking about someone which is not from my family, was the housekeeper. She was the maid of my family. She was lucid even in her 90s. She attended in a conscienciology course. She could not read or write. And she told me that she could not understand any words, but she could understand about energy while she was sleeping. She could understand everything. She had projections. She has projections. So you have to take a look to the side ones. It's very important, I think. Professor in pathology, in the sixth life, you talk about crisis. The crisis is when the focus is on the problem and not in the solution. So that problem is already a crisis. So the person is stuck in the subject. It's a process of emotion. So there is a saying that says that a problem which has a good definition, it is 50% solved. So if the person focuses in the solution, she's solving the problem. So within pedagogy and didactics nowadays, some of the main points is the problematization. We should work with students with those concepts. How to make students to think about problems. How can we make them to identify the problems? You have to analyze the age of these students. You can, for example, create a doubt about the profession. So a profession is something that can create a problem in the person's life. Do you have any technique for us to see the problems in the daily life? No, it's something hard, it's not like that. You cannot generalizing things. You have to see the personality of the person. Give me any specific personality, give me some minutes, and then I'm going to tell you that. Can we say that the Penta helper had done something similar in the previous life? Well, if he knows all those things, it's because he has a even more serious notion of everything. He knows more than you. So if someone is young, the helper almost always take over the situation. So we have a big difference, but when the person is more mature, in her 60s, so everything changes. So the person starts getting similar to the helper. But you always have to think that these helpers have those experiences previously. It's the same with the Serenissimus. Why not? It wouldn't happen with our helpers.
Agora, o que é engraçado é a nuance disso. Ninguém nunca pensou nisso. Isso não tem nada escrito em parte nenhuma.
Nobody thought about that before.
A nuance.
The details, the nuance of this specific subject. It's something really original.
Tem vários desses que eu estou trazendo agora. Tem monte.
I've been bringing a lot of these different subjects.
Agora,
but
vai devassar a cabeça de quem está entendendo.
It's going to open the people's head. For example, the people who attended to this test. If someone answered 30 different questions and got right answers, this person must be understanding a lot of conscienciology. It's a very advanced level. So, for example, if someone has got right answers in 10 different questions, and she's been here for 1 year, it's okay. Well, we have 2 people who had more than 30 correct answers. So, these people are going to understand very well this entry that I'm talking about. We have some entries that people are going to understand within 10 years. In 10 years, the person is going to understand. And I just have these entries now, so we have a lot of them. So those who are going to bring the next weeks, they are the best. How can a familiar group who get away from the home time? How can this behavior, how can we analyze this behavior? Some group that go away from his hometown and they got separated. Well, this is a problem because they don't have the familiar friendship. So, by the time that you have a problem, you can see it's not correct. Cosmoetically, it's not correct. Watching today's tertulia, you are interested in family marks. I have a mark in my ear, and my sons, they also have this mark. They also have this mark. There was one daughter who didn't have this mark, and they thought she was not my daughter. My grandparents came from Italy, and they were settled in Coimbra, Minas Gerais, and the family is a minority in this place. This is a genetical mark of the family. It's a mark. It's obvious. It's very funny, the connection. You have a typical case, a genetical case, okay? The representative of Cavalieri's family should think about doing a genetogram and a pargenetogram and find solutions in the familiar systemic psychology. Genetogram. They are using that. That's what I'm talking about. I think that is interesting that people talk about Dilma, but people don't talk about Serra. I would like to understand why. The problem is the following. It would be good for you to take from the internet the comparison between the Dilma's profile and Serra's profiles, and then you define. I showed something, and I also indicated to the other people, but I don't want to give my opinion. Take a look. See the difference between one another. So, the government is spending money with this campaign, Dilma's campaign. If they were good, they would show the reality of the one and the other. But I think they should publish the profile of both candidates. They should write a comparative chart, table from one another. The difference is huge. Serra is someone intelligent, is a high-level person. He knows about energy as well. It's very serious. Serra would not think about killing others. He participated in the student movement, and I did that as well. I represented 3 different schools once. I slept there. What's the problem? But I didn't get into this. I didn't participate. But read. It's on the internet. Do you know what www is? Well, what I think is that this person said that people from conscienciology are not did not vote or have not voted in Serra, and they are voting now by exclusion. They don't have other choice. It's for exclusion. I'm going to vote in Serra now. And I didn't vote in this guy before, and I wouldn't vote. But we just have 2 candidates, and I have to vote in one. He is the last worst. We have to compare the temper of each candidate. Her process involves moral intrusion. I'm going to vote in Serra because I have made experience with him, and he understands about energy. People who understand about energy is a minority.
Tem abertura, né?
He has openness. So within the things that I understand, he is extraordinary. Another thing that is very clear is the structure of corruption that is settled in this government. We don't have to be in the conscienciology to understand that. We all know. So, for this person who is asking about this question, he or she should verify this point.
É muito parecido.
Aquilo que eu chamo que eu vou fazer verbete sobre isso.
So,
você quer fazer uma ditadura?
Are you going to have, do you want to have a dictatorship here in Brazil?
Lá o Chaves está fazendo.
Hugo Chavez is doing something like that. Or a theocratic dictatorship, like in ours. Do you want to do something like that? So the low intellectual level doesn't help the country. But together with the corruption, it's a very bad combination. So I think the corruption is bad related to Lula, but in terms of Dilma, it's going to be even worse because she has a very bad temper. Yeah, we can see the person by looking the face. Every time I see Dilma on TV, I see a man, a dictator. It's a lady who is saying that. Let's see what's going to happen in the following days. Let's see what's going to happen.
Daqui uns dias nós não podemos falar nada aqui, né? Que dia que é que não pode? Sexta-feira.
From Friday on, we cannot say something about the elections, but I'm going to Berabe on Thursday. So until the next Monday, we are not going to have the tertulias here. So it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 4 days that I'm going to be out. I'm going to leave you to rest. I'm going out, but I come back to vote. Maybe on next Monday, and the tertulia, we are going to know what's going to happen. We have 3 tertulias to talk about this issue. Are we going out, traveling on Thursdays at what time? What? Here. Oh, it's very fast. I just want to take advantage of your talk. You were talking about dictatorship. And today we are going to have in the Cine Club the dictatorship. The big dictator. With Chaplin. So he is the one, Chaplin is the one who suffers with the dictatorships and the dictator at the same time. So let's take a look. Well, I trust in you guys. Let's see what's going to happen. So what else we have here about the description of the problem? We don't have to be discreet. We are talking about description. John, you haven't talked so far. Come on. We have the Nuremberg court here. Aren't you going to say anything? Hello? In the emphatic sentence, the section of the problem of research, and also talks about the scope of the investigation. Could you elaborate more about this the section of the problem? Well, for example, you're going to get a problem. You have to analyze the cause of the problem. Why did that happen? Was it in an economical, financial basis, social basis, political base, emotional, familiar? You have to examine the nature of the problem and see the details that are involved in this problem
gente vê para onde nós vamos.
and see which way to take.
Agora, ó, o ato da descrição,
But
concepção exata do problema de pesquisa.
the act of description or the section, the exact description of the problem is the first concrete initiative, which means that it's something logical, rational, in order to explore the complexity of the scope of your investigation. So you are going to see what you are going to achieve, but first you have to know the structure that you are working with, the essence of the problem itself. So you have to analyze where this problem comes from, where is it going, what are the consequences of this problem. Everything must be studied to characterize the problem. So I'm not talking any specific problem here, because it's impossible. Could you talk more about the energetic condition of the candidate Sarah? Because I know the guy. You know why I know me? I have a lot of different friends. So we have common friends. So just like you, I lived in São Paulo. Well, I didn't used to live there all the time, but I had a lot of contacts there. Another thing, I am 100% in favor of this governor, the elected governor here in Paraná, the Beto Richa. This is a good guy. He's a hope. He's getting into the Brazilian politics. I know him. You know, I am from Paraná. I am the animal from Paraná. You know, I am not from here. I was born in Minas Gerais. But I came here and I've been here for 15 years. And all my life is here. My library I brought to this place, and you know, the Voices of Paraná, the book, they mentioned my profile. They have 13 different books about this. And this is the second edition. We have Jaime Lerner, Gustavo Fruit, Glaze. But we know these people. I know them closely. So Paraná has a good chance to get in a better way. This guy is a good personality. He's 45. He's wealthy. He's like a sportman. But he's very conscious about the problems here in Paraná. I have hope related to this guy. In terms of energy, he is good. Yes. You know, I know this guy, Serra. He's experienced, he is very intelligent, he has experience in those advanced things. He is not... He understands about energy, he knows all about all those things, energy, it's serious. So, I value this a lot. In my life, destiny took me to have contact with all those politics, not just here in Brazil, but also abroad. You know, I was not looking for that. I was not aiming that. But during the Spiritism, for example, I had contact with all those guys, including some presidents, and I met the guys I was living closely
Vocês têm que lembrar que eu
with
comecei a
them.
estudar o negócio todo com o Mário Palmério. E o
So
Mário
I started
foi,
studying with Mario, and
deputado federal
he
em
was
3
a
vezes
federal
consecutivas.
deputy for 3 elections, consecutive elections. So that gave me a lot of experience.
Eu comecei a representar as coisas perante o Ministério da Educação.
So the first time I was a deputy, I was representing the education ministry. I was the one who was representing him. All the things I was in touch with, I had a lot of different contexts.
A época da educação era daquele jeito.
So the education
da administração da escola.
age was like this. I was working within the administration of the schools for 18 years.
Eu fui para lá com 12
I went
para
there with
o internato.
when I was 12,
Trabalhar para pagar meus estudos.
when I was just
Fiquei
12,
até quando eu saí. Fiz
I went to the boarding school and I left
curso ginasial, curso científico, tudo eu fiz lá
after I was an adult.
dentro.
I was working.
Com essa situação toda.
So I give a lot of value to all this situation. I know how it works.
Com relação à descrição das coisas, não necessariamente de um problema.
Related to the description of the things,
Depois, qual é
not just a problem.
pensar para sintetizar as coisas?
How is the best way to synthesize the
Vou
things?
descrever um ambiente. Uma coisa
For
que-
example, when we are going to describe
Quando está quente,
a room
quanto mais depressa você
or
passa
an
por
environment,
papel, tudo que você-
yeah, you should write when it's very clean in your mind.
será a sua descrição.
So
Agora, com o tempo, você vai analisando
it
aquilo e
must
você
be
vai
on the
pensando no
spot.
texto.
So by the time that the time goes by, you analyze what you wrote in that the
E
first moment.
avançada, desenvolvida, evoluída, ela pode ser progressiva.
So it can be a progressive
Quanto mais depressa você escrever, depois você vai
analysis.
para ver como é que fica.
Faster you write
Dentro da realidade.
a
Nós
text,
não fugir dos fatos.
better this text is going to be because it's going to show the reality.
Sintetizar alguma coisa.
Well, but my question is about synthesized
O
things.
da literatice.
You have to forget the literature and think about the content of the fact in order to analyze fact
Ficar
with
a apresentação
confidence.
artística disso e daquilo.
So artistic presentations doesn't make any fact.
Isso aqui.
What is important is the context, the essence of
Falando
of
sobre a
everything.
família Cavalieri, existe
Talking about
doutrinador de
Cavalieri
direito
family,
chamado
there is
Sérgio
a
Cavalieri
jurist
Filho,
called
que já escreveu vários
Sérgio
livros,
Cavalieri
inclusive
Filho,
eu
who
estudei,
wrote
completamente no campo da responsabilidade.
a lot of books related to the civil responsibility. Do you know
Ele
this
é
guy?
parente, mas ele
Yes,
não
he
está
is
na
our relative, but he doesn't belong to my grandma's tree.
Sérgio,
Yeah, he's kind of a cousin, but he's good. I know
uma
him.
colega de serviço constantemente
I have a workmate,
eu não desligo.
and she talks to our boss, bad things about me.
Ele não desligou o computador.
And
Fiquei pensando,
the boss told me about that.
essa pessoa que
So
sempre está
I was
comigo.
thinking about
Então, um dia, quando está
telling this person that I know
e
everything.
ela parasse de falar mal de mim.
So there was a day that I told her to stop talking bad about me,
Ela disse, ela repetiria na minha frente.
and then she told that she would repeat everything in front of me.
Apenas criticou meu modo de trabalhar.
She didn't want to talk bad about me, but just criticize the way I work.
Não vai me derrubar. Porque já estou embaixo. Então, ela
And then I told her that she would not achieve me with that because
Será que foi válido?
I had followed already.
Que ocorre pelas minhas costas?
So I felt very bad after that. Why?
Expor o problema.
You felt like that because you could not expose your ideas in a good way. Would be better for you to use a diplomatic
O
way.
problema de abordar e falar com a pessoa não está fora de
You
ordem.
know, it's not bad for you to talk
Às vezes é bom.
about in an open way about things with the person, but the way you say that is the problem. You have to analyze and choose the place, time, and the way you speak to someone, the environment, the temperature, if there is people around, how is the person's humor. You know, this person must be in harmony. You have to analyze your voice, even your voice. It's very serious. Even, you know, it's serious as when you write a script of a movie. This person was impulsive and precipitated, and she was emotion. So when you are supposed to talk with someone about some subject like that, you must have ice on your chest. In the election is the same thing. I want that the better for everyone happens in this election. And talking about that, I want you to clap your hands for someone very respected. Here, Dom Arlindário. This is Dom Arlindário's birthday. Are you turning 22 today? How are you feeling? 32? He's Balzac. Balzacian. So it's extraordinary. October 24th, 2010. They founded the United Nations the day I was born. Yes, that's true. That's the foundation of United Nations. So the United Nations in the growth crisis. Yes, they are. Let's see what's going to happen from now on.
Estão reavaliando atualmente, estão estudando isso, né? Isso aí é bom, muito importante para nós.
They are studying that, isn't it, John? No, it's very important for us. I think the United Nations should get out of New York. So the headquarters of the United Nations is huge. Okay. The punctuations, the tertulia's facts today. 102 signatures on the presence book, 22 questions on site, 24 questions online, 36 votes on site, and 11 votes online. Good afternoon. We are disseminating the program Encyclopedia Friends. Here we have the laptop computer who is going to be picked by someone at the end of this month. We know that there are a lot of people who don't have laptop computer, and we are going to give this gift for the Encyclopedia Friends.
E também aqueles que se inscreverem pela primeira vez ou que renovarem sua inscrição. Nós lembramos que nos meses de novembro e dezembro,
so during November and December,
estão expirando. Nós estamos convidando
next month and the month after the next one, we are going to have a lot of subscriptions that are going to be over. So we are inviting all those people to renew the subscription in this program. We need all the friends. So we need this collaboration for the physical work that we do here, and this is a gift for those who have or don't have a laptop computer. And related to the kits of the encyclopedia, we still have some volumes for those who haven't bought yet. The moment is now. The cost is 700 reals, and you can use 3 different cards, Visa, Max, and American. Okay, good afternoon all. We are going to have an online lecture free on the www.acivexes.org. Professor Viviane Fernandes is going to talk about the importance of studying biographies. So you have just to access the site now at 3 p.m. Good afternoon all. We are back to disseminate the second meeting for the Invisible College of the Stomatology. We are representing here the Mário and Regina, who are attending the IAC meeting. And we also are remind you about the participants, Mário Oliveira, Mário Mariatti, Daniela Miari, Alexandre Carlone, Lucy Lutfi, Professor Valdo, who is going to give you orientation on Saturday for this college. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable with the subject, the stomatology, but we think that the subject is very important. The stomatology is something really important, which is the interrelation between resummation and in terms of course, we also have other participants. Tony Muskov, Janet Muskov, Mário Tecno. We are going to be there from 5 to 7 November. Estar no discernimento, a sala do discernimento, at discerniment. O evento, eu repito, ele é gratuito. And I repeat, it's for free. You are all invited to participate and collaborate, bring your critics and your suggestions. Thank you very much.
Gente, Treinamento informa o Cineclube de hoje.
So the Cineclube today we are going to have a classical,
dirigido e com a atuação do
Chaplin. Dictator with
uma breve sinopse.
Charlie Chaplin.
Chaplin faz 2 personagens.
Chaplin plays 2 different roles. And a German dictator.
Faz os 2 serem confundidos. O filme é principalmente uma paródia sobre Hitler e o nazismo.
Talk about the Nazism.
E o fascismo. Com inteligência, Chaplin reveza o humor com tristes imagens de um gueto aterrorizado por tropas inimigas.
He shows a very sad situation about a terrified ghetto. And there's a classical scene about on Chaplin holding the globe.
O filme tem 2 horas aproximadamente.
It takes 2 hours.
É um filme de comédia, mas profundo também.
It's supposed to be a comedy, but it's also profound. For further information, you have to access the blog www.discerniment.org/Cineclub for suggestions. Cineclube Cognópolis at discerniment.org. We have popcorn and chocolate today. The entry for tomorrow is Human Personality
Obrigada, boa tarde.
The specialty sociology, and good afternoon all.